Perhaps you feel like you have to pick a side, yet something inside you whispers that there is a much bigger picture here. As you listen, let the gentle sound of rain soothe you, like nature's lullaby. Imagine each raindrop carrying a tiny spark of wisdom, washing away your doubts, and preparing you to receive these words with an open heart. Tonight, we're going on a journey together, a journey through chaos and hope, through fear and wonder, and into the calm center of understanding. Along the way, we'll explore why people seem more divided than ever, yet how this very division might be guiding us into a grand transformation. You might have heard stories about shifts in human history. The Renaissance, when art and science bloomed across Europe, or the Industrial Revolution, when machines changed the world forever. At first, these times were chaotic. People struggled to keep up with changes. They argued, clashed, and worried about the future. But over time, these very shifts led to new ways of thinking, creating, and living. Perhaps what we see now, this feeling that the world is splitting in two, is another such shift. Maybe something amazing is trying to be born from all this tension. Tonight, let's gently explore these possibilities. We'll look at the illusion of division, how our minds often trick us into seeing the world in black and white. We'll consider deeper, more mystical ideas, like Earth's vibration rising and different realities overlapping. We'll dip our toes into science and ideas about quantum physics, where particles behave in surprising ways, and the observer's mind can influence what is observed. Then, we'll learn simple ways to stay balanced and calm in the midst of the storm. I invite you to settle into a comfortable position, perhaps laying down or curling up with a blanket. The gentle patter of rain continues, washing away the noise of your day. If you feel safe, close your eyes. Let these words guide you on a journey, weaving science, spirit, and subtle mysteries into a tapestry of wonder and peace. By the end, you may find yourself looking at the world a little differently, understanding that what feels like division could be the first step towards something truly beautiful, a world more awake and connected than ever before. So take a deep breath and let's begin. It's not hard to see how the world appears divided. It seems like everyone's taking sides, whether in politics, religion, lifestyle choices, or even favorite sports teams. Online, in the realm of social media, we see arguments everywhere. People post their opinions, and others jump in with strong reactions. Sometimes it feels like a tug of war, each side pulling with all their might, determined to prove they're right and the other is wrong. This tug of war can make us feel that one side must be good and the other side must be bad. It's as if we're watching a movie where heroes wear white hats and villains wear black hats. But real life is rarely that simple. If you peek behind the scenes, you might find that each side deeply believes in its own version of good. They might even think the other side is harmful or dangerous. This can lead to fear, anger, and misunderstanding, all feeding the illusion that the world is split into two opposing camps. Why does this happen? One reason lies in our minds. We naturally seek patterns and safety. We often prefer to stay in spaces, both online and in real life, where our beliefs are echoed back to us. This is called a confirmation bias. It's like if you love chocolate ice cream, you'll tend to hang out with fellow chocolate lovers, read about chocolate recipes, and watch videos of people making chocolate desserts. All this reinforces your original love for chocolate while ignoring other flavors. On a larger scale, this bias can shape how we see important issues, making us believe that our viewpoint is the only one that makes sense. Another reason is the echo chamber, where we surround ourselves with people and media that share our worldview. This happens without us even trying very hard. Modern technology figures out what we like to watch, click, and comment on, then shows us more of the same. Slowly, we end up living in a digital bubble, rarely hearing the other side of the story. It's a bit like stepping into a magic mirror maze where every reflection looks like us, our own thoughts bouncing back. Historically, whenever humanity has faced big transformations, like the shift from a mostly farming society to one powered by machines. There's been a period of upheaval. People fear losing their way of life, their jobs, or their sense of identity. They look for someone or something to blame, and divisions deepen. But if we look at these chaotic times from a distance, we can see how they paved the way for new inventions and ideas. During the Renaissance, people once ridiculed certain artists and thinkers for their strange new ways of painting or discovering scientific truths. During the Industrial Revolution, people who preferred the old ways sometimes destroyed machines, believing them to be evil. Over time, though, these once feared inventions sparked new eras of growth and technology. So perhaps today's arguments about politics, technology, social norms are part of a much larger story. Maybe we're on the edge of another powerful shift, one that challenges everything we think we know. This isn't necessarily bad. Like a forest after a wildfire, sometimes the underbrush must clear for new seeds to sprout. Our challenge is to see beyond the illusion of division. We can remember that while we might stand on different sides of the riverbank, we're all connected by the same river of life. Take a moment and imagine two children fighting over a toy. They both cry and point fingers. "You're mean." "No, you're mean." Yet both children are simply trying to be happy. Maybe they feel they need the toy to be safe or to have fun. If we step in as calm observers, we see that these children are not good or bad. They're simply a bit confused in that moment. The same might be said for us grown-ups, battling it out over all sorts of complex issues. We forget that beneath our different viewpoints, we share the same human heart. It's helpful to remember this concept. Each side in a conflict often thinks of itself as the hero, so calling one side evil or misguided may not solve the problem. It only deepens the illusion of separation. If we can observe the fight from a higher vantage point, like a peaceful bird resting on a branch, watching two people argue below, we might glimpse solutions that neither side can see while they're locked in combat. Keep breathing deeply. Let the soft sound of raindrops carry away the tension. We're just beginning our journey. There's more to explore, more layers to lift. As the thunder gently rolls in the distance, we can sense the power in the air. It's a subtle reminder that even storms pass, leaving the sky clearer than before. Now let's shift our view from the everyday to something a bit more mysterious. Imagine Earth itself as a living, breathing being, not just a rock floating in space. Many spiritual traditions and esoteric teachings suggest that the planet has its own energy field or frequency, which can change over time. They propose that Earth's vibration or energetic heartbeat is rising. You might wonder, how can a planet have a vibration? Think of it as the hum of life. Just like a violin string can vibrate to make a musical note, Earth can vibrate in ways we can't always detect with our five senses, but can sometimes feel in our hearts or intuition. If Earth's vibration is rising, what does that mean for us humans living here? One idea is that as this frequency changes, it subtly nudges us out of our old patterns. Imagine you've been asleep in a cozy bed for a long time. Suddenly, dawn arrives, the sky brightens, and the birds begin to sing. You might not want to wake up right away, but the growing light and sound make it harder to stay in deep slumber. Something similar might be happening to our collective consciousness. The light of awareness is getting brighter, and people are starting to wake up to new truths about themselves and the world. This awakening can be uncomfortable. When you're half asleep, bright light can feel harsh. You squint, you toss and turn, longing for a few more minutes of sleep. Applied to society, this discomfort shows up as tension and division. Some people sense the shift and eagerly explore new ideas about spirituality, sustainability, or unity. Others feel threatened by these changes and cling tightly to older ways of thinking. Neither side is wrong or right. They're just at different stages of awakening. In certain esoteric teachings, there is also mention of parallel realities. This might sound like a science fiction movie, but think of it more like layers of possibility. Our human minds can only handle so much information at once, so we usually lock onto a single perspective of reality. But what if there are multiple pathways unfolding at the same time, like different roads we could travel on the same map? According to this perspective, we are in a period where these parallel roads, or realities, are becoming more visible to us, causing confusion. If you and someone else are traveling on slightly different roads, you might see the world in completely different ways, even if you're standing side by side. Have you ever talked with someone and felt like you were each living in different worlds, even if you were looking at the same situation? Perhaps you couldn't understand why they thought the way they did, and they couldn't understand you either. If these parallel realities are overlapping more than ever, that could explain why the divide seems so large. It's like two TV channels are playing at once, and you can't fully pay attention to either show. The signals get mixed up, creating static. Another esoteric theme is the presence of old souls. According to some beliefs, souls reincarnate multiple times, learning new lessons each life. Old souls are those who have lived many lifetimes. They might carry wisdom from all these experiences and come to Earth during crucial turning points to help guide humanity through change. This doesn't mean old souls are better than others, just that they've walked a long path, gathering insights along the way. Perhaps many such souls have gathered here and now to anchor peace and understanding. Maybe that's you, or someone you know, someone with a calm, reassuring presence, like an ancient tree that's weathered countless storms. Put these ideas together, and you have a picture of a planet raising its frequency, parallel realities overlapping, and seasoned souls showing up to help. It's a grand tapestry, and each thread is part of the bigger design. When we hear about Earth's vibration rising or parallel realities, we might wonder if it's all just superstition. Certainly, skepticism is healthy. But even if these concepts are taken as metaphors, pictures that help us understand complex changes, they can still be useful. They remind us that transformation often causes upheaval, that multiple perspectives can exist at once, and that wise, compassionate people can guide us. Picture yourself standing in a grand library, where each shelf holds a different book describing reality. One book might focus on science, another on spirituality, another on history. All these books share the same space, but each offers a different angle. The tension we feel in the world is, in part, the clash of people reading from different books, each convinced their version is the one true story. When you realize that multiple stories can coexist, you become more patient and curious. You start looking for bridges between these different shelves instead of trying to burn them down. As you listen to the steady rhythm of the rain, let these ideas swirl around gently in your mind. You don't have to fully agree or disagree. Simply observe them as you would a painting, noticing the shapes and colors. Maybe something resonates with you, something that answers a question you've always had, or sparks a new curiosity. Let the thunder's low rumble remind you that even amidst the storm, there is a deep, resonant energy guiding the rhythm of life. Now let's weave in some scientific ideas that can mingle with these mystical notions. Modern physics has become so strange that it sometimes sounds like science fiction. Quantum physics, for instance, tells us that particles, the tiny building blocks of everything around us, don't follow the rules we see in our everyday world. They can exist in more than one place at once, or seem to communicate instantly across great distances. Even Albert Einstein called this spooky action at a distance. One key concept in quantum physics is that the act of observing something affects what is being observed. Imagine shining a flashlight into a dark cave. Wherever the light shines, you see certain shapes and details, but you might miss others that remain in shadow. Some scientists suggest that when we observe particles, our very act of looking changes their behavior. This could be a clue to how our consciousness, and the collective consciousness of humanity, shapes reality in ways we don't fully understand. How does this tie into our sense that the world is splitting in two? Well, if our thoughts and beliefs can influence the reality we perceive, then large groups of people who share strong beliefs might be shaping different versions of the world. It's as if they're shining a flashlight on one corner of the cave, while another group shines their flashlight on a different corner. Neither group sees the whole cave, and each insists their section is the entire truth. The more they insist, the more they strengthen that version of reality. Meanwhile, as we noted, technology amplifies these echo chambers, feeding each group more of what they already believe. Another scientific concept that might resonate with our experience of time speeding up is the idea of a singularity. In physics and mathematics, a singularity often refers to a point at which things become infinite or undefined, like the center of a black hole, where density is so extreme our laws of physics break down. Some futurists talk about a technological singularity, where human innovation accelerates to a point that we can't keep up. Others speak of a spiritual singularity, a moment when human consciousness leaps forward. Whether you see it as spiritual, technological, or both, many people feel that we're racing toward a critical moment. Look at the pace of innovation in artificial intelligence, biotechnology, and space travel. Compare that to how quickly human beliefs are evolving, with new waves of thought arising every decade. Sometimes it feels like we're in a cosmic pressure cooker, everything rushing faster and faster. This speed can be thrilling and terrifying all at once. Some interpret these scientific and cultural leaps as evidence we're collectively shaping our future in real time, possibly co-creating a new phase of existence. Of course, it's easy to get carried away, and caution is always wise. Yet there's no denying we're in a period of rapid change. Just as seeds germinate quickly in the spring, bursting through the soil in a sudden rush of life. Each day, a new gadget emerges, a new idea spreads, or a new social movement is born. You might ask, what can I do about all this? How can I stay calm when it feels like the world is spinning faster and faster? These are good questions, and we'll explore them soon. But for now, hold on to the thought that human awareness is incredibly powerful. If our collective attention can shape the behavior of subatomic particles, then perhaps it can also shape the course of nations, technologies, and communities. When we pool our hopes and fears, we create a tidal wave of energy that can move humanity forward or hold it back. So, imagine yourself for a moment as both a scientist and a mystic. In one hand, you hold the lens of quantum theory and scientific exploration. In the other hand, you hold the lens of esoteric wisdom and spiritual insight. If you look through only one lens, you see part of the picture. But if you hold both lenses together, you begin to see a richer, more unified panorama, an interplay of energies, thoughts, and potentials dancing in the cosmic rain. As the soft thunder outside continues, feel the rumble of possibilities in your own heart. There is immense power in curiosity, the willingness to keep asking questions, to keep searching for connections, and to remain open to the wonders of existence. Let this curiosity guide you as we move deeper into our journey. We've explored the illusions of division, the esoteric perspective, and a bit of quantum oddity. Next, we'll look at how we can stay balanced in all this chaos. Because while these ideas can be exciting, they can also be overwhelming. Finding peace within the storm is key. Now let's focus on you. Yes, you, listening here in the hush of the evening, accompanied by the gentle rainfall. The world might feel intense, unpredictable, even frightening at times. But there is a way to move through this chaos with grace. Think of yourself as a traveler on a long journey. The path might twist and turn through dark forests and bright meadows, but as long as you remain centered, you can handle any terrain. Remain the observer. One of the most powerful techniques is to practice being an observer. Instead of rushing to take sides, step back and watch the drama unfold as though you're viewing a stage play. This doesn't mean you should ignore social issues or avoid forming opinions. It means creating a quiet, spacious awareness inside yourself, from which you can see the bigger picture. When someone passionately argues a point of view, observe not just their words, but the emotion behind them. Notice how fear, hope, or frustration might be driving their stance. Then reflect on your own reactions. Are you getting triggered? Do you feel anger, judgment, or anxiety rising within? If so, see if you can gently let those feelings pass by like clouds without clinging to them. This observer state is like a calm pond that reflects the sky without being disturbed by the wind. Grounding practices. In times of energetic upheaval, grounding is crucial. Imagine a tall tree with deep roots. No matter how strong the wind blows, it remains stable because its roots anchor it to the earth. You can ground yourself by spending time in nature, walking barefoot on grass, feeling the trunk of a sturdy oak, or simply gazing at the stars. If you live in a city, you can ground yourself through breathing exercises or mindful activities like cooking or gentle stretching. Some people find that just placing their hands on their heart and breathing slowly helps bring them back to center. Meditation and stillness. Meditation doesn't have to be complicated. Even a few minutes of sitting quietly, following your breath, can calm the mind and body. For a child of 10 years old, it might be as simple as imagining a favorite pet or a peaceful place and focusing on that. For adults, guided meditations or simple breathing techniques work wonders. When you meditate, you train your mind to be more aware of its own thoughts. Over time, you become less reactive and more able to respond to life's challenges with clarity. Imagine your mind as a wild horse. Meditation is like a gentle way of taming the horse, not with force, but with patience and kindness, until it becomes a loyal companion that listens to your guidance. Detachment and inner peace. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you release the need for everything to go exactly your way. When we cling too tightly to our plans or opinions, we set ourselves up for stress. Try reminding yourself, I don't control the entire universe, but I can control my own thoughts, feelings, and actions. This insight brings enormous relief. You free yourself from the constant tension of trying to fix every external situation. Instead, you focus on what you can influence, your own inner state. As you cultivate more peace within, you'll notice it rippling outwards to your family, friends, and even strangers you meet. Seeing opportunity in chaos. Many spiritual teachers and philosophers suggest that moments of crisis are also moments of great opportunity. Imagine a pot of water on the stove. As it heats up, the water molecules start moving faster until they reach a boiling point. That boiling point is dramatic. Steam forms and the water transforms. But it's also the perfect time to brew tea or cook pasta. In the same way, our current global tensions might be the heat that transforms humanity, opening up new possibilities for cooperation, innovation, and spiritual growth. As you go about your day, try asking yourself, what if this seemingly negative event is actually a catalyst for something better? What if it's pushing me or society to make a needed change? This shift in perspective can turn frustration into curiosity, anger into a challenge to be more creative. And yes, it takes practice, but the more you do it, the more natural it becomes. Choosing your reality. If there's some truth in the idea that our perception shapes our reality, then we have more power than we often realize. We can choose which beliefs and narratives we energize. Do we focus on doom, conflict, and the world splitting apart? Or do we focus on the possibility that new solutions and bridges are forming underneath the noise? It's not about denying problems. It's about holding them in a more expansive mindset, one that is open to miracles and breakthroughs. Imagine your mind as a vast garden. If you plant seeds of fear, division, and hopelessness, those are the plants that will grow, fed by your attention. But if you plant seeds of hope, compassion, and unity, and water them daily, that's what will flourish. Even in the midst of storms, a well-tended garden can bloom. It might take time and effort, but the choice of seeds is in your hands. Reflect on how you feel right now, listening to these words. Perhaps you've gained a new perspective or felt a spark of calm light up within. Hold on to that feeling. It can become your compass, guiding you through life's storms. Maybe from now on, when you see a heated debate online or watch stressful news stories, you'll remember this gentle voice reminding you. Be the observer. Stay grounded. Focus on what you can control. And slowly, the storm will lose its power over you. The rain continues to fall, each droplet a tiny reflection of the universe, each thunder roll a reminder of nature's awe-inspiring presence. Stay with that feeling of softness and curiosity. We are nearing the end of our journey, but there's one last piece left, to bring it all together and see the bigger picture of what may lie ahead. So why does it feel like the world is splitting in two? Maybe because it is on the surface, but beneath that surface, a deeper process is unfolding. Much like the metamorphosis of a caterpillar into a butterfly, a period of chaos might be the necessary step before humanity emerges with new wings. We've considered how our minds create divisions through biases and echo chambers, how Earth's rising vibration and overlapping realities can stir confusion, and how quantum science hints at our role in shaping what we see. We've also explored practical ways to navigate the chaos by being an observer, grounding ourselves, and cultivating hope. Now, let's imagine the future. If this truly is a time of great transformation, then what happens after the storm? Picture a world where more people awaken to the power of compassion and cooperation. Technology could be used not just for profit or control, but to uplift communities and restore balance to our planet. Spirituality might become more inclusive, blending the best wisdom of many traditions. Science could continue to reveal the secrets of the universe, helping us appreciate the vast, interconnected web of existence. Of course, these are possibilities. The future is never certain. But just as a farmer believes in the power of planting seeds, we can believe in the power of planting hopeful visions in our minds. Even if the world feels chaotic, each of us can play a small, yet crucial role in shaping the collective story. Every kind word, every compassionate thought, every moment of insight contributes to the emerging narrative. If you ever feel overwhelmed or hopeless, remember that storms pass. The sun rises after the darkest night, and often, dawn is most beautiful when it follows a great tempest. Look for those moments of clarity when you see beyond the illusions of division and realize we're all part of one human family. In those moments, fear dissolves and something new begins to bloom, a gentle awareness that we are far more connected than we ever knew. Dear traveler, the journey isn't over, but the chapter of our exploration tonight comes to a close. As you drift off to sleep or continue on with your day, let these words resonate in the quiet spaces of your heart. We have the power to shift from division to unity by changing the way we see ourselves and each other. We can choose to view the world not as a battlefield of good versus evil, but as a growing family still learning to understand one another. If indeed the world is splitting in two, it might also be weaving itself back together on a higher plane, forming new patterns of thought, technology, and spirit. The next time you sense tension building around you or read a headline that triggers fear, pause for a moment. Take a slow, deep breath. Remember the rain and thunder in the background of this journey. Think of Earth's vibration, rising like a gentle note in a cosmic symphony, and know that you have an important part to play. Your calm presence, your willingness to hold a higher vision, can become a beacon of light in dark times. No matter how small you feel, you have a place in this grand tapestry of life. By tending to your inner peace, you add to the collective peace. By staying curious and open, you help bridge the divides that seem to separate us. And by loving yourself and others, you contribute to the transformation that may be unfolding right now, right where you stand. As you find rest or move forward with your day, cherish this truth. Out of chaos can come creation, out of division can come discovery, and out of fear can come a love so strong it brings us all closer together. May your dreams be soft, your heart be light, and your spirit forever guided by the gentle sound of rain reminding you of life's constant renewal.